Hey YouTube, I'm just putting together the motor bracket, and I guess the second motor bracket to fit here to do the pulley system. And I'm just assembling it for the first time just to get a little bit of an idea to see how much slack I have in the belt, whether I need to move these bottom holes down. So at the moment I'm just looking to get some, I guess I'm just looking for position at the moment. Now what I've done is I've got a whole heap of old bolts, nuts and bolts that I've kind of repurposed from other jobs, and these are just temporarily in here to hold that. That's not a final nut. It'll probably actually come through the other side, and the nut will be on that side. What do they call them? It'll come back to me. I'll put it in the video. So those are only temporary, as is this piece of wood. I'll just assemble this quickly. So the slots here are nice and tight, as are the bolt holes. Excuse my back. The shed's so full we can't get in a position to video from a reasonable angle. I'm really happy with the way these things have lined up. Even though it's still got pieces of ply in it, I'm quite happy with the precision of it. There we go. So obviously straight holes on the bottom, slots on the motor plate. What that should do, this gives me about 30, just want to step in there and have a look, gives me about 30 millimeters of adjustment. From the top side, what will happen, will be a bracket across here with a nut and a bolt, which will push that guy up, and that's going to tension the belt in that direction. Now, unfortunately, when I ordered these nylon pulleys off eBay, I ordered them with a 10mm hole. Not really getting too much thought about it. They were available with an 8mm hole. So I've had to pretty much, I guess, I've only got a couple of these guys. I've only got one of that length. But I've got a whole heap of 8mm, so I probably should have bought it, in hindsight, should have bought 8mm. But for the moment, I'll just simulate it with some 8s. I'm going to put one here, using old used washers. I don't know, you probably can't spot that in the video. Now, there's probably going to be another plate that goes on this side of it, just to sandwich, well, not sandwich those guys because I don't want pressure on these guys, but there'll be a piece of metal that goes across here in between them, and there'll be pieces of metal here as well, and that stops it from crushing down on these guys too much. Top holes. They're pretty stable. They're only on one side. I'm using the wrong side bolt. They're quite stable. So I don't know whether well, I probably still will put a second plate on there just for overkill purposes. Okay, so that's what the rough assembly is going to look like for the moment. I probably should have left those a little bit loose because I need to adjust it. Okay, now these guys are only just sat on the ends there. That coffee has nothing to do with it. That's a good cup of coffee, my love. Okay, let's grab this belt. Now I don't know how I'm going to make this fit just yet because I haven't tried it yet. This is all for the first time. And despite there looking like there's a lot of slack there, there probably isn't as much as it looks. Now the idea is to obviously come around the top side of the pulley and underneath these two there like that. And that one goes on the top side there. Have you got that in shot, my love? Mm-hmm. Okay, now if I hold the bottom and pull that up, it'd be nice if I'd made the other part to do the tensioning on it. I think I'm pretty much out of adjustment there. I'm on the right side of everything, aren't I? Might need to go to the next set of holes, I think. Put that down there for a second. Just do a quick measurement. I've got a tape out here somewhere. That's alright. I lost my tape measure. Well, there's something here. I only do that about 1,000 times a day. Found the tape measure. So what I need to do is just want to come around here. Have a look from centre to centre. I'm showing about 120 millimeters centre to centre, which originally I designed it that these guys were actually going to be a little bit further in, but I've put them further out just to basically make it more stable. And I'm showing 120 mil there, so I'm not entirely sure. Well, it was only a rough measurement at best. As I say, that's the reason you prototype. Just got to watch your feet here because you trip over everything. I need a bigger garage. So these are the second adjustment holes that I'm putting it on for when the belt stretches, but clearly I need the first time up. Alright, let's try that again then. These NEMA 34s aren't particularly light. That's got a reasonable bit of weight in the hand here at the moment. That's more like it. Okay, now that's at the bottom of the adjustment. And let's have a look. Got a little bit of slack taken out of that. Set right in. Set right in. Okay, I need to pull that up. I can't see whether I'm level at the back there, my love. Probably got about 10 mil worth of movement. Is that touching that bottom pulley there?
Kind of.
Okay.
If you stop moving it up and down, it does.
Yeah, I can only get so much tension. Okay, that's pretty good, and I've probably got about maybe a third, 2/5 of the movement I've got available to me. So it's not a bad starting position. Alright, so just come around and show position of bolts. And just go back and get the belt in just so I can see how tight the belt is. I can't really see standing right on top of it, but I think it's reasonably tight. It looks reasonably tight. Okay, take it off for now. Okay, so that's good. Did I do that before? Just do it that way. Okay, back to the drawing board for a little bit of an alteration before I make the final part. Catch you in a bit. Somewhere in the process of that video I managed to cut myself. Don't know on what, probably on this guy here. I haven't knocked any edges off it. That's nothing. Oh, there it is, it's coming from there. Okay, what I do need to do a quick measurement on, while I've got that tight, is just have a bit of a look, just to make sure I've got my spacing right. So I want a little bit of a lift, probably want somewhere around about 100 mil, maybe a tiny bit less, somewhere maybe 90, the idea of the bottom pulley is just to stop this guy flapping around, so it just needs a little bit of tension on it. Not what I could have probably have done, probably just measured it there. So it's showing about just shy of 100 and, it's about 117, so maybe even 100, maybe even 100 would be fine once it's tensioned. Okay, thank you.